As I was sitting down the other night watching the Golden State Warriors vs Orlando Magic, it started to make me really think. Some key things that I've taken away from this season so far is that the league is actually starting to even out. The worst of the worst teams are still having entertaining games and are playing pretty competitive for the most part. There's star talents on most teams, and lots of sleeper teams have turned it up out of nowhere. Now, this isn't me saying that every team is really good and blah blah blah, but on any given night you can turn on a game and get pretty invested. When we talk about sleepers, the Orlando Magic are definitely on that list. They might have gotten the win over a rather unhealthy Golden State Warriors team, but it was the first win on the Warriors' home floor in over 10 years, so it shows you the growth that they're having. Whether you want to use that as an argument to why they are an up-and-coming team, or just take it with a grain of salt, that's up to you. And hey, even if you look at their record, you might ask yourself, why would I even watch them? Well, just wait. Now that you see these stats, does this make you kinda want to see what's going on in Orlando a little more? I surely hope so, because they are definitely on the rise and can be a really solid team in the next 2 to 4 years. The resurgence of Markelle Fultz is an amazing factor for this team. He looks great when he's in his groove, really pushing the pace, getting this team up the floor quick, just making the offense flow more fluidly. The team plays at a higher pace when Fultz is in at 102, and this comes directly from Markelle's downhill playstyle, and he averages the most assists on the team at 5.5 a game, so he really benefits the offense greatly when it comes to getting the ball moving. After years and years of criticism and people looking at him as a bust, some might still hold these opinions, but I think he has came a long way from where he once was. Having a point guard to just get the action started is one thing, but when you plug in someone who just has a great feel for the game, it can really boost up your offense. Markelle chooses to take the more passive, or shall I say sharing the ball route, by setting up his teammates first, but don't be fooled as Markelle can sometimes take a more aggressive approach to go get a bucket himself. Since he can put pressure on the defense's heels when attacking the paint, he can really make the whole defense collapse, and it allows for these easy dump off passes. After watching all the passes made by Markelle this season, an overwhelming amount have came off these dribble drive penetration collapses and then finding a teammate once the defense surrounds him. Whether he blows past his man to then kick it out without looking for an easy Banchero 3, or if he makes the smooth wraparound to Wendell for the slam, Fultz is pretty crafty with his deliveries on the court. If you don't believe me, well, watch how he gets surrounded by 3 gold jerseys once hitting the paint. Markelle used this behind the back right to Wagner for the easy lay. And hold on, we're not done just yet. This time he rejects the screen, crossing back the other way and getting it to his big man no matter the obstacle. Markelle wraps this difficult pass around Podol, avoiding the steal for a Wagner warm-up lay. These dump-offs can come off the roll as Markelle can thread it through tight spaces fairly quickly, or he can deliver it right on the money as you coast in for the easy bucket. Point guards make your time on the court easier, or shall I say they are supposed to, and Fultz in my eyes definitely does that for this team. In the last 5 games at the time of recording this, Fultz has dished out 35 assists while only committing 8 turnovers, which is approximately 4.3 assists for each turnover he throws. When you have a guard facilitating at this rate, you can only expect great things from him as they ramp up his minutes and his role on this team. The chemistry will get better as time goes on, as that's not really an issue I see coming, but where something could start to arise is with his 3-point shooting. We won't really get into that right now, we'll save that for his player analysis once he gets more games under his belt. But for all the good Markelle does, and for all the other point guards on this team for that matter, Franz Wagner just seems to do it better. Now, I'm not saying that the other guards can't grow into a better leader offensively, but the way Franz can already control the offense is pretty special. Wagner was probably the real rookie of the year last season, and he's playing at a fantastic level, showing everyone why he was a sleeper pick. There wasn't much media coverage for him, no buzz or anything really like that it seemed. But when he stepped on the scene, he displayed that he was good at just about everything on the court, but wasn't great at anything in particular. This is a really good base to build from, and in just his second year, we can already see this leap from Franz. He's out there creating looks for himself off ISOs and uses his size to bully through smaller defenders, but given his 6'10" height and frame, when bigs come to match up with him, he has the size to finish through the contact and also uses deceptive speed to get right past them. So although he isn't the fastest player by any means, or he doesn't have the shiftiest ball handling, his handle is sturdy enough to get to the rim, and he can be creative with his gathers as well. Here he used the in and out before running Luka into the screen, and as Dwight Powell steps up, Wagner powers into this spin move towards the basket, laying it home. Per B-Ball Index stats, Franz is in the 98th percentile in rim shot making and finishing talent, furthermore backing up his bright finishing. Some slashers around the league need the ball in their hands to make something happen, or they work better off ball, but for Franz, it really doesn't matter as he can go score off either one. He can cut through the lane with a quickness, catching the defense off guard to go put 2 on the board, and also put it on the deck a couple times before going to finish. Having this much versatility from a 6'10 forward is something that doesn't come around often, so you must take advantage of it. You can run many different lineups as you want. If you want to go small and run him and Paolo as your guys down low, it can actually be really hard for opposing teams' bigs. Franz is shooting it from deep at an average rate of 35% on 4 attempts per game, so you'll have to step out after he starts to knock down a couple, but that's not where the advantages stop. Wagner can start to blow past the bigs on his way to the bucket and also set up teammates for great looks. The stats don't tell the whole story, as Franz only averages 3.5 assists per game, but when you actually watch the Magic play, you can see he grants his teammates all types of opportunities for great looks, and he can direct the offense in the right direction. He doesn't really get out of control that much for a second-year player, and he can hold his composure when he's on the court. I don't know, to me he looks very fundamentally sound with a little bit of funkiness to his game. It's refreshing to watch, and it complements Banchero nicely. They work really well off each other on the court, and just as Franz can run the offense and get things going, Paolo can do just the same. Now, although in my opinion Wagner is slightly better at playmaking for the team as a whole, Banchero can do it just as well and also go create looks for himself at any time. When evaluating a rookie, it's more of an eye test rather than a numbers game totally, and Paolo will make your eyes lock to the screen from how talented he really is. He's equipped with a handle tight enough to tie together a combo to then pull up in that mid-range area, and he can also drag a defender out to the 3 occasionally and let it fly right over them. His shot creation is probably the most interesting thing about his game to me, maybe because this is the thing that will raise his ceiling. Banchero is very athletic, and we know he'll be an above average to very good finisher, but his shooting is where things are unknown. Currently, he's shooting 37% from the mid-range on all 120 attempts this season, and 32% from deep on 4.2 attempts per game. These aren't super terrible stats by any means, and we still have a lot more season left, so I'm not writing Banchero off or anything, but just imagine how much his game could open up if he could knock it down at 43% from the mid-range and anywhere from 35 to 36% from deep. It would make the defense have to respect him way more, and then he could really start to pick them apart. Even though he isn't shooting like that right now, he still gets the respect from the defense just from how hard and well he plays on a nightly basis. Banchero has taken the league by storm with his rookie performances, and if you haven't caught a game by now, you really need to. He plays well beyond his age would suggest and already looks very comfortable midway through his rookie season. When you pair his great feel for the game and poise on the court along with Franz's talent as well, now you have a two-headed snake who can lead this team to better places. Now this is just 3 parts to the whole working machine. You have Fultz, Wagner, and Banchero who are all special talents, but you can't forget the other guys as well. Wendell Carter Jr. is a huge one in my eyes. He's so valuable to this team and is a pretty consistent option they can go to. He can knock it down beyond the arc at times, pull up in the mid-range, and also be a strong big body down low, so you really have to watch out for him. You also have Bobo, Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, it goes on and on. In the comments, let me know who you think the other important pieces are on this Magic team. Sure, they are young, so they still have to work out some things and really get the structure right, but after rebuilding for some time, they are starting to look like a team that is turning the tide. Let me know what you think about the Orlando Magic down below. Do you think they will be a really good team in 2 to 4 years? Will Paolo and Franz be future stars? Let me know. If you enjoyed this video, pick between this Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner analysis. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.